Hello, 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 friends. Oh my gosh. It is today. Today is the day of the launch for my big, oversized hardcover art book called One Bite at a Time. And I'm here chatting with you today, very happy, very excited for the possibility of what can be with this book. The launch has gone really well already. It launched just a couple hours ago. We've already got some folks coming in there, and I want to let you know that it's happening right now. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, you can go over to onebiteatatimebook.com. That's onebiteatatimebook.com. And if you head over there, you are going to see this campaign. So why don't I go ahead and share this with you? Just want to let you know I am live on YouTube right now. So I'm going to try to monitor the chat over there, see if anybody's chiming in and answer any questions that you might have. But in the meantime, how about we share a screen? Is that something we can do here? Let's see. That's not what we want. This is what we want.
Hello, hello, hello,
Okay.
friends. Oh my gosh.
Whoopsies. Let's see.
It is today.
We don't need that there. Okay. All right. So this is the page for One Bite at a Time, a hardcover art book celebrating process. I cannot tell you how much I've been working on this and how excited I am to share this with you. So why don't we just start out with this video, because this took a ton of time and it's really succinct. And I think it tells the story pretty well, maybe better than I can in my excited state right now. So let's take a quick watch. From an early age, I've enjoyed understanding process and seeing how people do what they do. Now, after 20 years of working as an artist and university educator, I've incorporated that curiosity into my life's work, where I've been fortunate enough to share methods of creating art and comics with thousands of students. This art book, One Bite at a Time, in addition to outlining my 20-year growth as an artist, is an outgrowth of my interest in sharing artistic process and demystifying making. Hi, my name is Ryan Clater. I'm a comics artist, a Michigan State University professor of art, and I've crafted my occupational life around a medium that I love, comics. This book highlights 2 decades of my work in comics, as well as a number of media outside of, but influenced by, comics, much of which has never seen print before, like my neon designs, pinball restoration, watch designs, fancy pancakes, and more, all with a focus on providing context and revealing behind-the-scenes process images for each piece. Regarding the book itself, all pages are complete and the book is designed. It's going to be a beautiful, oversized 9 by 12 inch hardback 240-page book with gorgeous dual-color cloth binding, dual-color foil-stamped images on the front, spine, and back, copper-gilded page edges, built-in ribbon bookmark, and a number of custom-formatted interior pages as well, like gatefolds, vellum, die-cut reveals, and more. But this only happens with your support, which I want you to provide confidently, because I've successfully fulfilled crowdfunding campaigns for 10 years at this point and handled fulfillment of my creator-owned work for 20. I've also researched packaging for this product, conducted extensive tests, and I'm adamant this book will arrive in your hands in the same condition it did when it came off the press. In closing, I want to thank you for your consideration. With your help, this process-focused art book with over-the-top production values will become a reality. All right, there you have it. And here's the Kickstarter page, which you can get to simply by going to onebiteatatimebook.com. The art book is called One Bite at a Time. That is a reference to my self-publishing company, Elephant Eater Comics. And that's a saying that my dad would tell my siblings and I as kids all the time. He'd say, well, it's like eating an elephant. You just do it one bite at a time, and before you know it, you're done. So that's something that stuck with us for a long time. And I named my publishing company that to kind of keep me grounded and pay tribute to my pops too. So anyhow, I thought that was a fitting title for the book. And thanks to my good friend Don Walton for suggesting the name. So I have Don to thank for that idea. Thank you, Don. So excuse me. Here is the page itself. Talks about the purpose, why this book is being made, talks about the book itself. And basically, I am really excited about this book for a couple of reasons. One, of course, is the content, and the other reason is the formatting of the book. So, first of all, in terms of content, this book is outlining 20 years of my work in comics, illustration, and design work. So you'll see things like my existing comic books, but you'll also see a lot of behind the scenes process images for how each piece came to be, and a little bit of didactic information talking about why each piece came to be. So, for example, here you see my comic A Hunter's Tale, which was originally a poem that was written by my late grandfather, Charles Kermit Clater, and I adapted it to comic book form just last year, as a matter of fact. And over here on the left-hand side, you'll see a number of different thumbnail images, attempts at finding a suitable cover design, and then the final pencils for the cover, the final inks, and then the final book itself. Over here, you'll also see an unused cover design. So basically, when I came up with a number of different designs, I took two covers to complete fruition, and then I was able to, chat with family and decide what we thought would be the best representation of my grandfather's work. Ended up going with this one. So you get to be taken through the behind the scenes on not only my comics, but also illustrations, and see some inspiration that I had, as well as moving through the iterative process, like the pencils, and you'll see various notes that I was taking, movement lines like, hey, move this over once it's time for inks, and then finally the ultimate piece. But we also go through things like my neon design. This is a neon design, a Cthulhu themed neon sign that was commissioned by Andy. He's a good friend of mine here in Lansing, Michigan. And I was so thrilled to work on this piece with him, along with well over a dozen different pieces of neon that are going to be featured in this book, and also have this pulled back behind the scenes page on the left-hand side that show you what we go through as client and artist. First I'm presenting them with several options for moving forward. Then we choose an option and I give them some color options. Then the color option is chosen. And then finally, the fully finished fabricated piece is there. So in addition to neon design, I've also designed a number of watches for London-based company Mr. Jones Watches. This is the first one I designed for them, called Step Right Up, sort of a carnival theme, where the ducks along the top are the hours and the targets along the bottom are the minutes. And you get to see how this watch came to fruition through this really rough, rudimentary sketch here to a little more refined sketch, then ultimately the 5 different layers of inks that go into making this watch, and then finally the watch as it was produced. And I'm even taking things way back to some never before seen projects of mine that I did in grad school. Like, this is a comic book themed video game where uh, a me character would run throughout the environment. You can see the run cycle here and the environment running along the page down below, as well as a number of different characters that you encounter throughout the environment. And along the way, they will say various mildly disparaging things about comics. And when they do that, you can choose to educate or passively agree. And you're either rewarded or not, depending upon the choice that you make. So those are just a few pages, but I think I mentioned and showed you right now that the theme of process runs heavy throughout this book. For example, here is a page of original artwork that will be shown in the book. And as you can see here, I've got some really nice high resolution scans so you can see how this piece came to be, the blue line pencil work behind it, the inks on top of it, the multiple strokes, even the texture of the page you can see. But the way this is going to be represented is through a page with some die cut holes in it. And these holes are going to reveal the after piece or the final cleaned and colored piece that you see here. So you can choose to look at the before or the after or the before and after at the same time as you see the final piece through the original artwork and how it lines up. So in addition to a number of specialty formatting pages like gatefolds, vellum overlays, die cut reveals, and more, I've also got a number of showcase images that you'll see throughout the book. So some close-ups, like this is an entire page spread showing you a close-up of one of the neon signs that I've designed. This is a close-up of some original artwork that I designed for my great buddy, Nick Baldridge, who does the For Amusement Only EM and Bingo Pinball podcast. So you get to see some behind the scenes work there. If by chance you're not familiar with me, my name is Ryan Clater. I'm a comics artist and university professor, and I've also produced a great number of comics and illustrations and designs throughout my career. But let's get to the exciting stuff, how you can get a hold of this book. So at the base tier, you can get this book in a digital version for 25 bucks. This book has over 250 pages, lots of different images and process work to go through. But the pledge tier that I'm really excited about is this physical book. I've been working on this book for over 5 years at this point, more than 20 if you take into consideration all of the artwork that's showcased in here. And when it retails, the book itself is going to be $59.95, so $60. But if you get it on this campaign, I'm trying to reward early backers by letting them know, hey, you can get this for 17% off cover price, and that's going to include free shipping in the United States. So if you jump on board during this campaign, during the month of November, you can hop onto this book at a discounted price and have it show up at your door for no extra cost. Shipping is included. But we've also got some additional tiers past that that have some things that I'm like unreasonably excited about. For example, this next one, the print patch and signature tier, gives you a signature on your book. So this book will come signed. Also, in addition to that, you will receive a commemorative patch. I've never produced a patch before and always wanted to. And these patches are actually in my hands right now. So these came through looking incredible. They have 100% stitching. So that means stitching is all over. You're not looking at any of the material behind it. So really nice and durable. And they came through just immaculately. I've already got mine ironed onto my backpack and I've been enjoying it for the past month or so. So you can get one of those. This is the first time they're ever available, as well as a limited edition signed and numbered raised copper foil print. So these prints are 8.5 inches square. I'm sorry, 8 inches square, and they have rounded corners as well. And as you see, they're signed and numbered and catch the light in really stunning ways. So here's a close-up macro shot of that and a little animated GIF video showing how that light plays with the copper foiling there. Really, really interesting print. I love how those turned out. And for those who are really interested in behind the scenes stuff, we've got a book club tier. So with the book club tier, we are going to have an invitation only book discussion with me talking about this book, where I will deliver a presentation about how this book came to be, give some behind the scenes stuff on how it came about, and open it up to some questions and answers afterward. This is going to take place once we all have the book in our hands and have a chance to take a look through it. But I love chatting with people, not only about my work, but also comics in general. So I'm really looking forward to connecting with folks on this book club tier. And this is going to be restricted to just people who are backing this tier and a couple others above that you'll see in just a moment. I also don't want to forget about my retailers. So retailers, if you're out there thinking about the possibility of picking up one of these books, I've got your back in the form of this retailer slash gift pack. So you can get 5 signed books that we're talking about here right now at 50% off cover price. And they're going to be signed, and you get free US shipping. So basically, these show up to your store for 50% off cover price. You can sell them for cover price, make your profit, and I would love your support on this campaign. You may also notice that it's not restricted to retailers. You can also give these as gifts. So if you're thinking about, hey, maybe down the line, I'd like to, hand these out to friends and family or for the holidays, that is just fine too. You can also hop in on this gift pack, and you will also receive 50% off cover and free US shipping. Now we get to some upper tiers here with the custom sketch reward. With the custom sketch, you get everything that you saw back in that book club tier, plus you get a sketch in your book. So this is just an example of a sketch that I did in a sample book. And you can choose your character. You can choose the recipient's name. You can make it out directly to you or somebody else. You can choose a color palette if that's something that interests you. But essentially, I will create this acrylic paint marker sketch, and this can be customized to whatever you want it to be. Um, After that, we have another retailer slash gift tier, whereas the first one was a retailer gift backer. This one is a hero award because you're not just getting 5 books, you're getting 10 books at 50% off cover. Plus, every single book is going to get one of those signed and numbered prints right along with it. In addition to that, free US shipping is also included. So if you are a retailer who has a large customer base, or if you have a lot of gifts to give, this is the reward tier for you. I'm looking over on YouTube right now. I'm seeing a few folks watching over there. Gamma Goat says, these looks amazing. Gamma Goat, thank you so much for tuning in here. Really appreciate it. And I've been seeing you posting around this morning. Thank you so much for your support. Um, Cruising right along on these reward tiers, we come to the last one, which is limited to 1. This is the original cover art reward tier. So you get the signed book, you get the patch, the print, the book club tier, and as if that wasn't enough, you also get the original art for the cover of the book itself. There is only one of these, so I can only have one of these reward tiers. So whoever jumps in on this is going to get the only one in the world. Now, I have a couple of images here to share with you to show you that, yes, this really is like a blue line pencil slash hand inked on Bristol version of the cover image. And you'll get to see things like the fact that this number 20, while it was also hand inked, I had it in a different font before. And so you can kind of see this bit of paste up that's happening on the board itself. So you'll get to have and hold this piece, totally frameable. It's 11 by 14 inches, easily frameable size. So those are all the reward tiers that are available here, but we also have a number of add-ons. So basically, if you saw those reward tiers that I mentioned above and you thought to yourself, I would like a mixture of those things. I'm not real interested in being confined by any one of those reward tiers. Well, hey, this add-on menu is for you. So basically, if you wanted a book and a patch, but you're not interested in that print, well, hey, you can add on a patch for just 15 bucks to your book tier, or maybe you wanted a couple patches, you can do that. Basically, this is sort of an a la carte system where you can cruise through here and add on whatever you like from the campaign. Now, I get pretty excited about this next one because check this out. Not only do we have all this stuff that was listed above, but you have the option of adding on a custom clamshell book box. So essentially, the printer that I'm using, I chat with and I said, hey, I want to have an option for really making this incredible, unique, custom design book be even over the top and have some protection for it if people want. And this option for a custom clamshell book box came through to me in my hands literally yesterday. And I was able to take some photographs of this and really showcase what this looks like. It came out beautifully. Essentially, these custom clamshell book boxes are going to be designed to look like the book itself. So you'll have the same uh, fabric binding that you had before, the teal and the brown. You'll also have the dual foil stamped images on the front, spine, and back cover. And the interior of the box is color matched to match the copper gilded page edges that will be on the book. So here is a mock-up of the book itself, the clamshell, and this is an actual physical model that I received. In fact, let me stop sharing the screen for just a moment and share this with you, because here it is. This is the custom clamshell book box that will have the foil stamping. You can see how it's kind of shiny here. I think that might be coming through, as well as the foil stamping on the spine and the back cover too. So there's dual foil stamping all around. And when you open up this book box, see if I can balance this, inside it perfectly fits the book itself. So here is the book. Let me just balance all this stuff. Boy, howdy. I said they were oversized. I wasn't joking. This is a 9 by 12-inch book. It's 250 pages, really substantial. It's got copper gilded page edges. Can we show this? Oh, yes. Look at those copper gilded page edges. So lovely. Also, a built-in ribbon bookmark. It's got headbands to match the brown cloth. Oh, I'm so excited about how this turned out. Like I said, these just arrived to me yesterday, so I am just over the moon about how this looks. But I wanted to show you that these are, in fact, real physical objects. These are going to be produced. These are simply the sample books that I was sent from the printer so that I could show them off for the campaign itself. But let's jump back into that campaign, because there's still some more I'd like to tell you about if you're still around. So jumping back in here, essentially that is one of the add-ons that you can add to your reward after the fact if you like. But the add-ons are not restricted to the existing campaign items for one bite at a time, my new art book. I have a number of back catalog items that you can choose from as well. And like I said, I've been producing comics for quite some time. So you can look through some of my back catalog of work, from our wedding comic, Better Together, to some collaborative drawings I did with my son when he was 4 years old, to a Hunter's Tale that I did just last year, to my autobiographical comic book series, which started my whole journey in comics, and many, many more. So if you're interested in catching up on some of my back catalog of comics, in addition to this brand new art book, boy, howdy, you can select one or several of these, whatever suits your interest and budget. Now, one thing that kind of gets overlooked when I talk about all the stuff going on in this campaign is that there is a green guarantee on this campaign. So for this project and my last project, I've partnered with the nonprofit organization focused on global reforestation called One Tree Planted. And once this campaign successfully funds, then for every single backer, together we are going to plant a tree for every backer to offset our carbon footprint by making this book. So I hope that you'll be excited about joining me in this endeavor, because I'm really excited to be giving back to the environment and being able to plant a tree with your help. I also want to take this moment to give a quick shout out to Lindsay G and JL Draco of Oneshi Press, who were the first comic book folks I saw doing something like this. The One Tree Planted partnership and planting trees for their books. I saw that and I thought, my gosh, that is such an incredible idea. I want to steal that. And the first thing that I did was reach out to Lindsay and JL, and I said, I love what you're doing. Would you mind if I incorporated that into my future campaigns too? And they said, yes, please, of course, do it. We want everybody to do this. And so just a quick shout out to some colleagues of mine over at Oneshi Press. They're launching the campaign a little later this month as well too. So thank you for being such incredible ambassadors for the comics community and the environment, Lindsay and JL of Oneshi Press. All right, so when can you expect to see these books, assuming you are backing them? Well, if you take a look here, throughout the month of November, we are going to be doing this campaign. I'm going to be trying to let as many people as I can know about this. And once that wraps up, we've got to process some funds. So Kickstarter takes a minute to process the credit cards and then transfer the funds to me. So that takes about 3 weeks or so. So the holidays are around there as well. So I'm just estimating a month for the processing and transferring of funds. Then throughout January, we're going to be printing this bad boy. And that's going into February as well. It's going to take a while because this is a complicated book. As I've mentioned, we've got all sorts of bells and whistles on this thing, from dual cloth binding to dual foil stamped images to specialty papers, built-in ribbon bookmarks, copper gilded page edges, and all the stuff inside, gatefold pages, vellum overlays, die cuts. It's going to take a while to print this thing. So the printer said they'd need at least a couple months to get this thing printed. It's also being printed overseas, so that's going to take a little bit to ship to me. So I'm allowing for about a month for that. Then, because I've done this thing before and I know that unexpected things arise, I'm adding some contingency time into this timeline, and to the tune of about a month. So if things need a little wiggle room in one area or another, that contingency time is built in. During the month of May, I will be furiously packing and shipping all the books that arrive to me so that I can ship them to you and have them in your hands in June of 2024. So this goes on to say, I've been self-publishing and fulfilling orders of my books for a long time. 20 years, you may have heard. All this to say, this is my best estimate at a reasonable timeline. But if unforeseen delays occur, I promise to remain communicative, transparent, and work tirelessly until you have your order. That is my promise to you. I'm here looking at you in the face, in the camera, talking to you as a real human being, telling you that I've done this before and I will do it again. And regardless of what happens, I'm going to work until you've got your book. Okay. So I'm requesting $9,000 to make this book. And why do I need $9,000? Well, here is the breakdown. The vast majority is going to printing. I do not need to pay an artist or a designer because I am that person. So that's not included in here. So we get to make this a really lean, mean campaign. And most of the money is going directly to printing. But in addition to that, there's going to be some Kickstarter fees. So Kickstarter takes about 5%. The credit card processing takes about 5%. Put that together, it's about 10%, which I think is incredibly reasonable for the service that Kickstarter provides. So thank you, Kickstarter, for allowing me to be here, gladly handing you 10% of whatever happens from this campaign. But we also have to ship these books to you. That's going to be about 12% of the funding. I also need to make sure that this book gets to you in a safe way. So packaging is going to be another portion. And then finally, once again, I've got some contingency funds built in here to the tune of about 10%. Again, I've done this before, and I don't want to be left in a lurch or have unexpected things happen for backers or myself. So I'm including a 10% contingency fund in here just to take care of anything that might arise. Now, finally, I'm printing this with a place called Rich Color Printing. And as you've heard me outline above, I had a lot of production requests when designing this book. In fact, it is the most ambitiously printed book I have ever designed. And Rich Color Printing handled every question with honesty, grace, and efficiency. I just can't say enough about the printer that I'm working with. I always encourage self-designers, self-publishers to solicit a number of quotes for your book. Don't just go with the first printer you find. And I did that ad nauseum for this book. Usually, about 3, 4, 5, half a dozen or so printers is plenty to ask, and you'll find a printer that kind of specializes in what you do. But I wanted something that was very specialized, very unique. And my gosh, I found the right one because I narrowed it down to about the top 2 or 3 folks, asked for samples from each of them, and it was very clear that one of them was head and shoulders above the rest. That was Rich Color Printing, who not only sent me samples, but sent me samples that were really close to the book that I was making, and also sent me sample packs of things like foil stamping so that I could pick the exact right color that I wanted, as well as different types of cloth for the cloth binding so that I could select the right one. I just can't say enough about the good customer service that I've received from Rich Color Printing. And I've seen a number of books that they've printed so far already, not only the ones that they sent me, but between you and me, I did a little reconnaissance and found a number of other folks that have printed with them and contacted them in secret and said, "Hey, what do you think about your experience with Rich Color Printing?" And unanimously, they were over the moon about the customer service, about the product that they received. So I'm really excited about the product that's going to come from this collaboration. We've also got some risks and challenges. If you'd like to read over that, you can. I won't bore you with that. But I also wanted to show you some, oh boy, pages from the book itself. So, like I mentioned, I got this sample book, and there are a number of things inside that I'd like to show you. Like, the cover page is on this textured paper. I don't know if you can see this. This is the first time I'm showing this publicly anywhere. And this logo design for my 20th anniversary is foil stamped. Can we show that? It's foil stamped and embossed. There's just a ton of different stuff going on in here, from, you know, showcases of my neon design to comic books to illustrations. I'm trying to just show you a few of the things that you can expect to find throughout the pages in this book. I'm just so excited to share this with you. There's a number of things that I'm chatting with the printer about in here and making some revisions based on, but essentially it's a big oversized art book of process and illustration that encompasses 20 years of my time making comics and design work. Rika Art. Oh, hey, Hamashi. I see you in the chat in YouTube. Thank you so much for chiming in. Hamashi says, "Ooh, I remember that being brought into class." Very cool. Yeah, so some of my students chiming in here too. Really appreciate your support here. It's great to see you, Hamashi. Thank you for chiming in. But essentially, I wanted to jump on here and talk to you about this launch day event. This is day number 1 for the campaign for this brand new art book that I've been working tirelessly on for the past 5 years, and I'm so excited to finally share it with people. You can go to onebiteatatimebook.com. That's onebiteatatimebook.com, and that's going to take you straight to the campaign page where you can look through the rewards and see if there's one that you might be interested in. In the meantime, if you've got any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'm very available this month as I make my way around the internet, promoting this new work of mine that I'm so gosh darn excited about. So thank you to the folks tuning in over on YouTube live for this. Thank you, Gamma Goat. Thank you, Hamashi. Love seeing you guys out there. Thank you to everyone and their support on various social media platforms. If you've seen this project posted, please don't hesitate to repost. I super appreciate any amplification I can get of this project. And if you are hoping to get a book of your own, you can head over to onebiteatatimebook.com. That's onebiteatatimebook.com. And that will be where you can pick up this book. So thank you so much for your time, everybody. I appreciate you chiming in here, and I will see you around this